Alex Show.
Jenny is back with us. Yes, I told you about part 2. So Jenny, let's go right into it. For those who might have missed out on part 1, we're going to see how best we can help them now to learn more about you in part 2. Now, Festival Queen.
Yeah.
You were Festival Queen in what year?
1995.
Yeah.
Love it. That's such a changing year. That's the year I first had sex. That's 21.
That was your first year.
So the first time I told you that man couldn't bring sex to me. No school boy can chat to me. So, and if I go back a year, I can't say good because no YC boy can say them know me. No ComC boy can say them know me. No church teachers college boy. Because I said I had to be certified, be ready for a job just in case I get pregnant.
Yes.
So you have to be responsible. So 95 for me is a big year. 21 is a big number. 21 sex, 21 Festival Queen, Miss Manchester, because I teachers college, so I represented Manchester. Same time vexed with me, but I still have Miss Manchester. So big, beautiful year, and I love JCDC so much. Like I love teachers in my life, like Elise Wedderburn, Sylvia, Dennis Gilfillian, Miss Bertram, Carl Brown, who's dead. These people, oh my goodness, they rescued me. They rescued me from poverty, rescued me from death and desperation. And JCDC is in that rescue. Because when my friend Aldine Shaw says, enter the competition, I say, you're mad, go do what? Come here tough and body. And them not have no interest in that. Them people that usually want the nice skinny, light-skinned girls, and we now learn that we have high color, them have low color, because I said more melanin, we have the high color. And they say, no, the good thing about festival is just about your brains and about how sharp you are.
And all of that.
And culture, I love, and by the time they convinced me, I was ready. I just love it. And then through JCDC, I met, I think, the best minister of all times, and I would say it without apology. And he's also, because he's also linked to York Castle High School. We're talking about Burchell Whiteman, whom I love dearly.
Yeah, I remember
Dare
Burchell.
not say anything bad about Burchell Whiteman. And he placed me on the board. I was on the JCDC board. I became that, and I learned so much. I mean, all these protocols, all the things I got to learn.
What was it about the Festival Queen competition at the time that, make you so proud of it? And what's the difference with it now? Probably?
I mean, I'm hating that so many queens seem to go in and out. I milked it. I milked it like we used to milk a country. We call them a country. So you go in, you're going to meet the Governor General. That's when I fell in love with Edward Seaga. I don't take party lines. I take people lines.
Yeah.
Because Philip Powell is my good friend. Love Philip Powell. I don't care what else about him. Love whole heap of politicians. Julian is also dear to me as a member of parliament. I love Edward Seaga a lot. I'm going to tell you a moment when I was lost in life. Nobody knew it but Edward Seaga. And he discovered it in 1 minute, 60 seconds. Let me tell you how he changed my course. So I'm entering this Festival Queen, and all of us were sashed. And you know how it is, you go for a protocol, you go for one of those calls, the courtesy calls, you call it. And I know I'm going to beat Kingston and St. Andrews, so she's my friend. I know I'm going to beat St. Catherine, so she is my friend. I told her I don't crawl with anybody. I rise with eagles. So those are strong competitors. Miss Portland, Antoinette Bradshaw. I remember her. Oh my God, I can't even remember her name. They were strong. And I watched Edward Seaga walking down, and he's asking each lady why they entered the competition. He's greeting them and he's doing all this stuff. And then he reaches me, and he messed up my life. He says to me, hello, Miss Manchester, where are you from? And I said, dear God, I don't know. He says, what do you mean you don't know? I'm in a competition, a Festival Queen competition, and I couldn't answer the simplest question, which is, where are you from? I said, Honorable, I don't know. He says, what do you mean? I said, my parents had me in Rose Lane, and I think that's your division in Kingston. And then they moved from Rose Lane to some other places in Kingston. I tell you, we moved nothing. So Melrose, Allage, Halfway Tree, Grove, Kencut. And then I said that when we went to Bamboo, St. Anne. I went to school in St. Anne. Then, of course, I'm in Manchester because I'm doing Teachers College. I don't know which parish I'm from. And he held my, give me your hand. It's COVID time, but you can sanitize afterwards. And he held my hand and he says, it's okay, my dear. It's enough that you're Jamaican.
What a message.
Stop it!
What a message.
Edward Seaga set me up for life.
No wonder you're so in love
Passionate.
with our people and everything Jamaican.
You see,
the music.
So when you ask me where I come from Jamaica. I love it. I had no grey areas after that for Festival Queen. And ask me why I love it. Because Festival Queen allows you to fall in love. And you study your culture, you know, because you're an ambassador. And therefore, I laugh sometimes. I see people talking about Jamaica. They can't know Jamaica like me. You know, I place them Alligator Hole. You know, we do.
I know a pond.
No Alligator Hole. Where you do come, my husband carry me all them places where you see manatee. You know, we have sea cow. I have been to every parish and a 15th parish if you have it because I love yard.
When they announced that you are the Festival Queen.
Yes.
Take me to that moment because now you're fighting to get out of poverty.
Yes.
You're fighting to make a name.
I don't even have clothes. It's the lady, Marcia. I will never forget Marcia. She was in charge of the competition who loaned me jackets. She loaned me a blouse I still have. Marcia, I still have your blouse. It has 4 sides. White, red, blue, and a kind of khaki kind of vibe. I still wear it. It's still so good. And then blouse if you buy in a life. From 1995, I still have the blouse. And therefore, I will never forget people who have done for me to help me to be here. And when I was Festival Queen, I didn't even have the wardrobe. I didn't have it. So they had to call people, try and get clothes for me. You're not going to make me cry on this set, you know. It's been rough. And that's why I can't be defeated. Didn't even have a proper blouse or jacket. But I was Miss Festival Queen. I was Miss Jamaica, so you kind of get that afterwards. And we have a way of waiting to get the shirt, get the brand, get the blouse, to get there. Hell no, you gotta prioritize. Get there, then get that. You don't need the Audi first.
You know?
Or the Toyota, or that. You need to get that, then you can get that. Our priorities are messed up.
You know, I can resonate with your story so much because as you begin to talk, I can imagine that for myself as well.
Yes.
We grew up so poor that I remember my mother and my sister. I remember at one point, my mother couldn't go road.
Yes.
Because she had one shoes.
Yes.
You know them shoes they used to call matey shoes?
Yes.
Big shoes.
Yes.
And she took that one shoes.
Yes.
And she gave it to my sister to go to school.
Wow.
And
Love
she
her.
could not go anywhere.
Big up, mommy.
So when you're beginning to talk about this, I can just look back and I remember these things. And these things, of course, sometimes when you look back and you see how far you've become because you're determined.
Yes.
And that's the thing I'm trying to tell people. It doesn't matter where you're from.
Yes.
It doesn't matter your family background.
Don't care.
No matter what it is.
What matters is what you want. Is what you want. Is who you are, what you want. I mean, I had cardboard. You know what I did when I was growing up? I had boxes in the corner. What were my boxes for? To be able to change the cardboard that's in my shoe. Boxes. So therefore, I cut a cardboard. If it rain and it get wet, you just go for the next piece. I just change my cardboard. When people are changing them shoes, but I never even watch them. And that's why I don't have many friends, because from then I wanted to be so focused. I don't do this bag of friend thing because they're going to mess you up as well. Imagine now when it is that you have your cardboard and them have pairs and pairs of shoes, they're going to laugh at you, they're going to talk a story. They didn't know mine. They knew some, they didn't know mine, because I just focus, do my thing, decide that it had to be different. I cannot live and stay in poverty. Got to get out of there.
There's so much to talk to Jenny about, and we'll talk more after this break. Welcome back to the show. So Jenny is here, and she was Festival Queen in 1995, and we now talk to her about her marriage.
Ah, really? You're going there? Okay. What do you want to know?
No, tell me about when you met your husband, Radley.
Festival again.
Yeah.
So I was on stage, and I have to sing a song, right? Because I tell you I sing.
Yes.
So I was doing, if a ship of your life is tossing on a sea of strife, you need someone. So I sing it, and after I did, I Give You Jesus, and I came down in my white dress because I love white. It looks good against my dark skin, my nice chocolate complexion.
Yes.
this gentleman turns around and he says, how do you think you did? And I say, I think I did well. And then he says, do you think you should have changed your song? And I said, no. And let me say, so when the brother come back me now for down a war theatre, because it was at war
yes, you
theatre
remember
for
the war
finals.
theatre was the thing?
Yes, I know. When we get more money, we buy the war theatre. And I said, yes. And he says, do you think we'd have done better with another song? And I said, no. And then he asked me about the other performer on the stage. And then I realized there's a banter going on here. There's a deliberate banter. I said, sir, my neck is tired. Do you want to come down or do you want me to come up? And I think he asked me if I could sit beside him. And I went and I sat beside him and we spoke and we started talking philosophy. And then because I'm a literature teacher as well, you know, you could talk about Shakespeare, you could talk about poetry and lines, and I'm loving lines. I love poetry. And then I realized he had similar passion and love. And he just came to watch festival, which is what he does every year. So he loves culture as well. The people think I'm married to a white man. He's actually from St. Elizabeth. Them just now I'm not calling them St. Elizabeth because white people did long time
the ship,
took
the
place
sailors,
there, of course. So they landed there. They, I'm sure, fell in love with some of the locals or used them or whatever they did, and therefore you have quite a lot of people down at St. Elizabeth that don't have much color. So I'm not married to a white man, and he's not a millionaire at all. He was a simple insurance man. I don't even think he had any money. He was broke at the time because he was spending so much on his daughters who were overseas and doing university. But I loved his mind. And we have a way of falling in love with men's pockets. I'm not one of those. I don't even want you for what you have because remember, I'm driven.
Yes.
Remember that I must be independent, that if I'm going to leave you or you're going to leave me, I must have.
I agree with you. And women need to understand this. Because,
I don't want your stuff. I don't want your stuff. I don't want a man's stuff. I don't want my husband's stuff. I still don't. So I'm very, very, very anxious about making sure that I have my own, even though he's kind to death, to a fault, hard to find anybody kinder. And therefore, when we met, he came even during Festival Queen when I was going through the rounds, and then he would say, okay, you did well, and I'm liking this gentleman. He spoke well, and he would guide me as well. I love when we can learn from people. So I was a sponge. And Radlin Graham, while sponging, was working his way into my heart and softening the parts when a man can come between this leg because I don't want to get pregnant yet. I say, I'm not about pregnancy, you know. Right. Your parents' fault, you know, because them tell you if you get pregnant, you have to come out.
Put the fear of God in you.
No fear of man in you. If you get pregnant, you have to come out. And where you go come out and go. And therefore, that's how. So when people court today, go to restaurants, you can't catch them with food.
Yeah.
Drinks, can't catch me with your liquor. It was about words and poems and that kind of thing, and I recognize that.
He was your Shakespeare.
He was my Shakespeare, that's right. Although William Shakespeare is a lot of other things.
Right.
But he was my poet.
Right.
He was my poet, yes.
When did the marriage happen? The wedding happened?
All right, so we've been together for over 25 years. I gave him ultimatum because I started on not wanting to get married. So we were together for like 10 years before. And then I recognized legalities are important because if he dies, anything can happen.
True.
I went to my bed and I had a dream that I was there in this dark room, dark place. It felt like a church. I was there alone at the front. And then I also didn't want children. And I said, oh my God, but I was there alone. It was such a very lonely, sad feeling in this dream. And then I'm going to do rebel salute. I look for a Rasta man. All my life I look for this Rasta man and I can't find him. So I hope I can't find him through the Alric show. And he came backstage and he said, Empress, you goodie? Empress, oh, you emcee. So Empress, every time you hit the stage, you make my skin just catch a fire. I'm ready, Empress. So talk to me about your youth. Then how many youth you have? I said, none. Jano, Empress Jano, your kind of energy, your kind of fire. No, Empress, you can't come and leave the earth. So, Empress, you have to leave even one Empress. You have to leave a little you because you're too great. You know, say from the Rasta man start, me try have enough sex. I go, I have to clean out fibroids. You can't say me never care, you know. So you have to go inside now and start have doctor check if inside good and brush. They're 35 years old, this now, you know. So everything will have to grow.
But what was the fear factor for you now, though? Because now you want a child, you have to, no, you're clean out fibroids.
No, you have to work hard, forget the picking because no, the dream and this Rasta man mess up my head, make you say, all right, let me think about it. And you go in and you realize you had lots of things to fix up. And I love Dr. Da Costa so very much.
A lot of women struggle with this process, Jenny.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, yes.
What can you tell them now to help them through this process? Because a lot now are trying.
Number one, get a good doctor. Get a doctor like my doctor, Dr. Da Costa. I mean, I had a time of my life which was the most painful day of my life. I've never shared it publicly. Sure I should tell you on the Alex show?
Let me hear it.
You sure?
Let me hear it.
I'm not sure if I should tell you though. Should I tell you? All right, so when I'm doing an outside broadcast, when I just started to try, and this is age 35, 36, and I'm pregnant. So I'm on an outside broadcast in Mandeville, Manchester, to be interesting. And I decide to go urinate at the police station, big up to the Mandeville police station. And I have energy, so I'm going to climb a wall. It's a low wall. It is, I'm still seeing the wall. And I put my foot over that wall, and then I started to bleed. I'm on an outside broadcast. I can't say, okay, listeners, I want to come back to you. So I rush across and did what I have to do at the police station, try and put some protection on. Then I call Dr. Da Costa and I say, I'm bleeding. He says, you got to run back to Kingston. I'm not crying on this show. And I was also booked to do the show, to MC the show after I'm done broadcasting. And I said, Dr. Da Costa, I can't come into Kingston because I have the show. The crowd is here. It's rammed in this park in Mandeville Greens. And he says, but you're losing the child. And I said, but I have to stay because I have a broadcast to finish and I have a crowd that's waiting for me to hit the stage. And Alaric, I finished the broadcast bleeding. I did that show on stage, bleeding. I finished the show. And then we rushed into Kingston, my husband and I, and Dr. Da Costa opened his office at about 8 p.m. Well, it's too late. I bled it out on stage. That was the most painful day of my life. So find a good doctor. Because Dr. Da Costa understood what was happening and he's just never left me and never let go. And so when I have my daughter Carissa, who's 8 years old now, she's my pride and my joy. I mean, I'm pushing the call center, pushing Jenny Productions, doing a lot, but my one investment is my top investment.
And we want to tell women still,
Yes.
you know you're hurting, but keep believing.
Of course, and if you don't have, like I have friends who don't have, be a great aunt. I mean, you can adopt. I mean, I work a lot with CDFA, and there's so many kids and look in the crib who are just crying for a mom. Just be that great mom to a child, because you don't need to give birth to it.
True.
You don't need to have the big belly. You just need to have the heart for it. And I'm saying to you, you can still be a mom.
We take a break. More with Jenny after this.
Alex Show.
Welcome back to the show, Jenny.
Yes.
What is that one thing you're still trying to work on for yourself? What is that one thing you're still
That's
trying
so
to work
good a question, Alaric. You get A for that.
Thank you, teacher.
I'm still trying to work on numeracy. I'm very bad at math. That's one thing. I'm still trying to work on patience. And I think because I've been through so much, I'm impatient with mediocre. I'm impatient with people wasting my time. I'm impatient with people not making a decision. Dear God, why does it take you so long to know if you're going to do this cup? I'm impatient with women who take long to decide they're going to leave a man who's been beating them, who has been treating them like crap, who has been trod. I'm so impatient. I could hurt them too. I want to pull them. I want to have sisterhood talk. I want to bring them with me. So I'm still working on the patience of that, because while you're helping them, you want to be patient. Yeah. Because I just think that life is too short. You're here by 50 you start counting down the hill. And you're wasting that. You're wasting that doing foolishness with the next 20, 30 years of your life. Are you kidding me? When you're dead, what's the epitaph? What's going to be on your headstone? What's going to be in your book? What will people write about you? See, we're burying Michael Sharp. What what's your story gonna be? And it can't be that you sit down and take liquor, or you never know what to do, so you sat and did nothing. So I'm working on patience. I really am. And I'm a teacher. I ought to be patient, but I'm not very. And I'm working on the math. I've figured it out. Use a calculator, get people who can do math, so you're good.
What is that one thing you regret?
I regret not doing a skill because I'm a roughneck. So I mean, I could have done woodwork. I regret not doing plumbing, electrical, because these are the people who are making the money in COVID. We blundered when we went to school. We blundered when we thought that we were superior to the people who were doing skills class.
Yeah.
We're idiots. So you get bag of subjects and get them in a distinction. And I think when I passed my 6, my mother didn't believe, because for me it was nothing, it was the next step. I didn't rejoice. I didn't even tell her. And she said, you went for the results, She asked me for the results. And I said, I passed everything. She said, you mean, you serious? I said, yes, but for me it wasn't, but that was the next move. And you now know that we blundered with all these subjects. You get everything, but what did you really get? You just got subjects. The guy in the woodwork class at York Castle and electrical, he got more than me. The persons who did, I'm still vexed with the teacher who told me to take POB over Spanish. The person who did Spanish, they got more than me. I blundered there, and I'm still so very upset that I took principles of business over Spanish. Still vexed.
You could have been a translator now.
Shop box cover. Could have talked to them online now.
Yes.
But I'm doing Duolingo. It's something that everybody should know. You should try Duolingo. It's fantastic. You learn any language on your phone. So it's not too late. Once you're alive, wanna dead, no call it dopey. Go for it. You can still do it.
Wow. Why didn't you do a lot more TV?
Why didn't TV do a lot more, Jenny? That answers the question.
You never got a lot of offers?
Exactly. Exactly.
So you made your own show?
I made my own show. You don't call me?
Why you made Dancing Dynamite?
Oh, I love dancers. Oh, dancers, I love you so much. I think dancers are my story. Let me tell you why they're my story. Before we move on to the next question, I see gasping for breath to do that. Because they're so taken for granted. You'll do a show, you'll pay a DJ and a songman $500,000, even $1 million, but you pay a dancer $5,000. You pay him even $3,000, and he'll take it. And nobody was looking at the dancers, and they were enhancing the shows. Sure. They still enhance the show. You put a dance upon this and it's done. I love them because they are one of the most skilled groups in our country. So very good. So underestimated, and I've made them my life project. As a matter of fact, I don't throw tides. I see my church all Sunday me online, and them I say throw tides, throw tides. I throw offering, I don't throw tides. Why? Because I throw the tides in lives. So therefore my dancers, as long as they do well, we say big up to hotels like Moon Palace and Hilton and Jewels Group and couples, because they book the Jam Dynamite. I subsidize some of that to ensure that those dancers don't fall in the wrong hands, because that's what's happened. A number of those youngsters in their communities, if you don't put dance on their feet, they're gonna put guns in their hands. And I've made it my task, even broke as it is in COVID, to ensure that I'm saving as many dancers. And that's why we're gonna keep Dynamites going as long as I possibly can. And big up to those who do that, because you're also saving somebody who could be at your doorsteps that you never wanted there. The dancers must have a chance, and I love them, and that's why I did it. So my husband is also a big part of that. So people are singing, and he was watching the singing show, and he said, them don't have a drop of sense, and I'm bathing. He said, they don't have a drop of sense. I said, what do you mean? Them I do this back of singing, look how much dancers. When you do a show and put dancers, look how the dancers, they mash the place. I said, then you don't have no sense. You don't have a drop of sense. We are going to do dancing. And that's how it started. Bathroom talk. Husband said them never drop a sense. Nobody no see how the dancers, them mash up everything I do. I said, they never drop a sense. So our idea that we're going to do it. And that's how we came up.
How many years you've done
15 years. Woo! 15 beautiful years with our dancers, and we're still doing it. And in COVID, look out it now. Go.
That's very successful. Have you made it?
Bless you. No. And that's why I do not believe in self-actualization, Maslow's theory. I don't believe it. If you've made it, then why is Mileda Zan still going to his store even with COVID? And he motivates me. Mileda, want to tell you.
Again, you said you don't do it for the money.
No, I can't count. I tell you, I can't count. We can't do maths, you know. So therefore, I'm not doing it for the cash. And therefore, if you self-actualize, you die. Never self-actualize.
How do you stay above the noise? I mean, you have an obligation to the crowd, to an audience. How do you stay?
I like that, the noise, because it does get noisy. I don't think of the noise. They're very dangerous. The people who love you can be your biggest downfall. There's a teacher, her name is Esme McLeod at York Castle. She taught me a lot of stuff, and her one lesson is my lesson for life. Beware Caesar's crowd. Let me say it slowly. Beware Caesar's crowd.
Beware Caesar's crowd. Beware, comma.
Beware. But Caesar's crowd is important because it's the same crowd when you're reading Shakespeare that says, "Hail Caesars." Esme says, "What do you notice, students?" And none of us could get it. None of us at York Castle got it right. And she says, the same crowd, let's go back to page 70. The crowd said, "Hail Caesar." And then she says, "Now take me to page 90. It's the same crowd that says, "Kill Caesar." So I am very aware of the noise, and I take you where you are, but I am very aware that the same crowd that says, "Hail Caesar."
As you mentioned,
will
the
say,
same
"Kill
crowd.
Caesar."
You have been attacked on social media.
Yes, by the same crowd.
By the same crowd. And also, there was a recent thing with mackerel.
Okay.
Right? I don't recall you addressing it.
I didn't.
Why not? And what is it that you want to say
because-
no? Because you and I spoke about it.
Yes.
And I know you have good intentions.
Yes.
And what was that one lesson you wanted her to take away
Wow,
from that?
no, I didn't want no one lesson. I wanted several lessons. I'm a mother and I'm a teacher, and I'm a woman who recognized that mackerel is crying out for help, and people, Caesar's crowd, they were pulling her in the wrong direction. And Caesar's crowd said, "One mackerel, get to Jenny mackerel, take a gal man mackerel." And they're doing all this interview, and mackerel said, "Me take your man, I'm a take a man, I'm worth a man, a man like a good tight." And I'm like, but nobody's telling her that she's more than a vagina.
Right.
And I wanted to do that. I wanted the opportunity to see if I could stall and stop her from self-destructing. And even if it is that she is upset that I told her that she is prostituting herself, because that's what you do. If I give you sex for favor, what then am I? We're not having a love relationship. It has to be it is, and it's a definition, and that's why I want people to be educated, you know, because they kill you when they think you don't know. Yeah. But it is prostitution if I give you sex for favors. And I wanted her to see that so she could step back, move from the
Caesar's
crowd,
that attacked her.
move from the crowd, the same crowd that's also egging her. If mackerel gets 10 children, they will laugh at her.
What do you want?
The same crowd will laugh at her.
True. What do you want for yourself now? For you?
For me now, okay, so I have my degrees. I'm still studying, so I'm doing another level of studies.
Great.
I'm gonna during COVID, justice of the peace. Success. There's nothing else that I want. That success.
And you live in gratitude.
And I'm always, forever grateful for those who have taken me on this journey, and for those who continue to call and believe in my stories and believe in our causes. Just like how they continue to promote and your story, Ali, because you got so many stories within your stories. We say big up to those persons who lift us up and they raise us up, and we thank them. So I'm forever grateful. I'm forever grateful to you that we've worked together and that you've allowed me to come and share my life on this very public platform. Things I've never said before. Right. But forever grateful.
I want to thank you so much. I'm so grateful that you're on this show today. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And we have to shake hands. We'll sanitize after.
Yes.
Thank you, Jenny.
And I pray that the Lord will bless you and guide you and keep you on the right course with the right people.
Thank you. I embrace that. We want to thank Jenny Small for being on the Alwick Show. The Alwick Show will be back next week.
Alwick Show.